Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner and welcome back to another edition of your latest Chelsea transfer news. Lots of news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking left, right, and center. Things are happening, man. Things are happening. As you can see, there's a picture of Romelu Lukaku on the screen. There's a major update. Looks like things are advancing between Romelu Lukaku, Chelsea, and Napoli. It's probably just around the corner. It's quite imminent that a move happens. And oh wow, honestly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this brother to once and for all leave Chelsea Football Club. So we're going to talk about Romelu Lukaku. There's updates in regards to Napoli. Is there a swap that's going to happen between us with Lukaku and Osimhen and Napoli? So some update in regards to Osimhen as well. So we'll talk about that. And of course, João Félix, Conor Gallagher, the drama continues. We'll update as to what's going on there. Leslie Ugochukwu news as well. Apparently, there is interest from Southampton. Orny has dropped a bomber literally a few minutes ago saying that potentially Southampton could look at him for a loan option. So, yeah, heaps to go through, and there's other players that we're going to touch base on, Angela Gabriel being one of them. But we kick things off with Romelu Lukaku, ladies and gentlemen. Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea and Napoli are discussing the fee for Lukaku advanced stages. This is literally about 10 minutes ago. Fabrizio Romano has dropped this. So the fact that it is in advanced stages, the fact that it's coming from Fabrizio Romano, who's so clued in when it comes to Italian news, I fully believe this. So maybe we're just around the corner of getting rid of this player. Finally, he wants to join Napoli. Personal terms have already been agreed with Napoli a long time ago for Romelu Lukaku, so we don't need to worry about that. And Napoli desperately only wants Romelu Lukaku. Antonio Conte is the man who absolutely only wants this gunman up front. So this is fantastic news for Chelsea, for a lot of Chelsea fans. I know there are some Chelsea fans that have forgotten his shenanigans that he was up to under Thomas Tuchel management, but I've not forgiven him for all of that craziness that he got up to, because since then it's been absolute downward spiral for Chelsea Football Club. So look, glad to see this brother go. We're going to save on huge amount of wages, and finally no more dramas needed for Romelu Lukaku. So hopefully here we go, just around the corner. Now, what does it mean for Osimhen? Because Osimhen, ladies and gentlemen, must leave Napoli. He wants to leave Napoli. Napoli don't want him. And Osimhen, he needs to find another club. Is it going to be PSG? Is it going to be Chelsea? I think there is an underlying feeling that he wants Chelsea, even though I think he's already agreed personal terms with PSG, because PSG are going to pay him the kind of money that he wants. But I think his feeling is to come to Chelsea. There's a lot of ex-Chelsea legends that want him to come to Chelsea, in the likes of John Obi Mikel, who's been so vocal about all of this, and Didier Drogba as well. But it is a complex deal because there's a lot of money that you've got to outlay for Osimhen and the wages. However, could the Lukaku to Napoli situation kind of soften this transaction? So let's see what's the latest in regards to Osimhen. Chelsea still need to do some work on the player side before I can say we are at the hot stages of the Osimhen story. So I think Chelsea with Napoli, they could strike a deal for Osimhen. I think this is the vibe that I'm getting with Fabrizio Romano. That's not the stumbling block. The stumbling block seems to be the wages with Osimhen, the personal terms agreement. We are not there yet. Discussions with Napoli, but not yet the player. There you go. So it's very important that we start talking with the player. I still think Osimhen's biggest opportunity is to come to Chelsea Football Club. I don't know whether PSG is going to stump up that level of money to Napoli. And I don't really think Napoli wants to negotiate anything with PSG unless PSG want to trigger that 100+ million release clause. Napoli has an interest to work with us, negotiate with us because of Romelu Lukaku. We've got that leverage over them. Chelsea informed Napoli director this week in meeting in London that they want to make a move for Victor Osimhen. However, it is early stages because Chelsea need to speak to the player first, because Osimhen says he will only go permanent and he's not reducing his 11 million euro salary. So that is the stumbling block. that 11 million euro salary, and maybe he wants more. And we can't even match the 11 million. And on top of that, he probably wants more. And also, he wants it to be a permanent move, not some sort of a loan option that we are trying to seek, because we're hoping that maybe if we can get him on a loan for one season, make it into Champions League, and then perhaps we can offer him that level of money. But Osimhen really wants more assurance, which is understandable. But I also understand from Chelsea's point of view, we don't want to outlay that level of money. So let's see. As I said, I think Osimhen's biggest sort of chance is probably to join Chelsea Football Club, because I don't think PSG is going to make that move. Important moments in the Lukaku and Osimhen talks. Napoli open to swap. Chelsea trying to bring down upfront costs on bid to balance out outlay for Osimhen wages. Lukaku wants Napoli and Osimhen wants Chelsea. So that's the thing. The other factor is, if we can drop the transfer fee significantly, then maybe we can give Osimhen a little bit more wages. Something needs to happen. There needs to be a huge discount somewhere for us to do something outside the box. So if the fee is huge, the wages got to be low. If the wages are high, then the fees got to be low. There were some rumors as well, ladies and gentlemen, that perhaps Cesare Cassidy is going to be given to Napoli to further sweeten the situation. But I don't think Napoli is accepting that at all. But we shall see. Lukaku to Napoli looks like it is going to happen, and it is in an advanced stage. So that's a fantastic news. Osimhen to Chelsea, we shall wait and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, this is the next blockbuster news, the most important news, to be honest. This is what Chelsea apparently are working severely hard on at the moment. Obviously, the Lukaku situation is taking place, no problems. But this Gallagher, João Félix, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, this is where all the work is being done. And of course, we need to get rid of so many other players. And we're running out of time. Justine, Atletico Madrid has rejected 45 million euros offer from Chelsea for João Félix. They want 60 million for him. Atleti is very upset by how the English club handled the Samu Omorodion situation. This is coming from the Spanish outlet. Look, probably right. I mean, Chelsea's thinking 45 million euros, which is roughly around just a bit, tad bit less than 40 million pounds, perhaps, something like that. Because we feel that is probably, that is the book value of João Félix at the moment, and we feel that is reasonable. You're paying approximately about 35, 36 million for Gallagher. Will pay you about 38, 39 million for João Félix, and let's call it a day. And let's move on. However, Atletico Madrid believe, they can squeeze out a little bit more for João Félix. This is not going to be the same terms as when it was for Samu Omorodion. They feel like João Félix worth a little bit more money, and this is the stalemate at the moment. However, I feel something will be done eventually enough, because for all parties, there needs to be a resolution, and this cannot collapse. It'll look really, really bad on Chelsea. It'll look very bad for Conor Gallagher, who doesn't deserve this, and even Atletico Madrid would want to get a permanent resolution for João Félix as well. And they need to balance their books too. They've outlaid a lot of money. So, look, I understand that Atleti are very, very upset with Chelsea Football Club. Completely understood, because we were in line to get Samu Omorodion, and for one reason or another, we didn't do that. Chelsea and Atletico are keeping contracts active behind the scenes for João Félix, Conor Gallagher. Saga remains on deal in tense situation, but not collapsed so far. There's still work needed between clubs to agree after Omorodion deal off. João already said yes to Chelsea. So Felix, apparently the word is he's taken a pay cut, and he's already said yes to Chelsea Football Club. So from a personal terms point of view, we don't have to worry anything about João Félix. He wants to join Chelsea Football Club. I still believe, ladies and gentlemen, look, because there is another news. There is actually another news, which is once again coming from Fabrizio Romano. Justin, this is one of the latest news, by the way. Atletico Madrid want Gallagher, but on new terms. Chelsea want to discuss João, but gap on price tag. It is very tricky situation. but working on it. Fabrizio Romano on Instagram, literally dropping not that long ago. See, the whole new terms, I don't mind this. If we want to scrap the whole old term, which I think was an agreement between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid that they'll take Gallagher, but we must take one of their players. I think the new term, in my personal opinion, will be they want to do the Gallagher deal all on its own. And then whether we buy João Felix is totally up to us. So previously, I feel they might have given us a bit of discount on Samu Omorodion, even though what type of discount? Like, he shouldn't be worth that much, but that's a different story. But I feel like they did the deal for Gallagher, knowing that we're going to buy Samu Omorodion from them. Now I think what's going to happen is on the new terms, they're probably going to pay a bit less on Gallagher and just going to use Gallagher as a separate transaction and not have to worry about the João Felix. So maybe that could be the scenario. If I'm being absolutely honest, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said it many times, I love João Felix a lot. I absolutely love him a lot. I still think he needs to have a better production because his numbers are not great for a good player like him. On top of that, I don't feel like he's a necessity for Chelsea Football Club because I feel like he'll end up being a bit of a headache for our new manager, who's got a lot of similar type of players in terms of Nkunku, Cole Palmer. If we do need to get an attacking player, we probably should be focusing on a striker, which is Osimhen at the moment. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, I rather, honestly speaking, and I know some of you guys might actually not like this, I rather we just walk away from João Felix, do a new terms and conditions with Gallagher, and let's move on from this situation. João Felix, for me, is seriously unnecessary. I know you're going to not accept this. I know you're not going to understand this. You're going to be saying, well, Sterling and Mudryk is an upgrade. For me, he doesn't operate in those, in like those players. If we are looking to upgrade on Sterling and Mudryk, we need an out-and-out winger, which I don't think João Felix is. João Felix is more of a second striker, inside forward, who can do a bit of a job out in the wing, but I don't think he's not a Pedro Neto type of a winger. So that's how I look at it. That happy for us to just move away from this and do a new terms and conditions with Gallagher. Let's see what happens. However, I do think João Felix will be a Chelsea player. Jorge Mendes is putting all his efforts into making this João Felix deal happen. As of Thursday night, still negotiating. Don't forget, Jorge Mendes has done the deal for Pedro Neto to Chelsea Football Club, and he's probably doing his level best to find his client in home in likes of Chelsea for João Felix. So I think this is going to happen. As I said, our owners are friends, are very, very close friends with Jorge Mendes. So João Felix to Chelsea, I think it's going to end up happening, and then Gallagher to Atletico Madrid will happen as well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive coming from David Ornstein. Southampton in advanced talks to sign Leslie Ogochukwu on 1-year loan from Chelsea. No buy option, multiple inquiries, but not for sale. 20-year-old, big part of Chelsea long-term plans. Saints plus Martin C as ideal for development for this is coming from the Athletic. So look, I've got no issues with Leslie Ogochukwu moving on a loan to Southampton. Southampton is probably a good club for him to play as a defensive midfielder there. It's a Premier League move, so he's gonna get a lot of exposure in the Premier League, which is fantastic, and hopefully he does develop. Look, me at the moment in regards to this player, is not polished yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's fine. He's young, so I'm happy to be patient for him to develop. So hopefully he can develop at Southampton, and let's see where his level is at the end of the upcoming season. So this is a good loan move, and I wish him all the best. Hopefully it does end up materializing. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea would prefer to sell winger Angelo Gabriel rather than loan him out before transfer deadline. The 19-year-old has been on the fringes during preseason and is widely expected to leave after the Blues signed Pedro Neto from Wolves for 54.1 million. So yeah, look, Pedro Neto, we've got Kendry Paez, Estevan Willian, and this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, as much as I personally like this player, I like the technical ability, I like the way he's very good on the ball. And he's always got the eye, the vision to pass, give and go. He's more of a player that suits Maresca's style. But when you got so many players, we've got plethora of players in our squad, it's impossible. Not everyone's going to make it. And I think this is the message we've been driving ever since our new owners started this new model in the past, from last summer, to be honest. We've been saying that this is a revenue-making, new revenue stream for the football club. The football club's not really interested in developing every single one of these players. They're just looking for wherever they can make a bit of profit because it acts as a new revenue stream. So sad, because some players that some of you guys in the fan base believe, they can be something. You have to understand, this is not how Chelsea look at this situation. Chelsea are looking at a lot of these young players as a money-making scheme, and that's the bottom line. Honestly, that is the bottom line. Sad to see players being treated like that, like a commodity, like a stock exchange commodity. But I think we're just going to have to accept the reality. Next up, Chelsea believe Noni Madueke is worth around 60 million. This comes from Liam Toomey. Another player, I'm sad to say he doesn't have a Chelsea future. Pedro Neto could either play on the left, could either play on the right. As I said, players like Kendry Paez, Esteban Willian are looking to come to Chelsea Football Club in the future. Noni Madueke, I'm certain. And more than you can believe, if João Félix comes to Chelsea Football Club, a player like Noni Madueke will be sold. 100%, because there's just not enough space to fit everyone in. And don't forget Cole Palmer, the guy just behind the picture, he can play in those areas too. Not ideal, but he can play those areas too. If Pedro Neto starts, Nkunku starts, Cole Palmer starts, then there is no space for Madueke unless Nkunku plays as a striker. But I think we're going for a striker as well. So look, I've got no doubt that Chelsea, if a good offer comes in, especially if an offer around 60 million, look, I think 60 million is probably a bit too steep for Madueke. Madueke, we should be able to fetch somewhere around 40 to 50 million. I really do think we can get probably 50 million for Madueke. 60 million, I'm not really sure about that. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Renato Viga is being favoured ahead of Ben Chilwell. Chilwell is a prime candidate to be sold, but his wages and price tag narrow his potential market. Yeah, he's on big wages, Ben Chilwell, and that's a bit of an issue. However, let's see. Man United, maybe about a month ago, or maybe a couple of months ago, there was rumors that Man United could be interested on Ben Chilwell. Luke Shaw over there is injured, and then seems to be consistently injured. So who knows? Maybe Ben Chilwell could potentially go to Man United, but Ben Chilwell's injury record is quite abysmal as well. So, but it's clear as daylight that there is no plans for Ben Chilwell, and he needs to move on. And there'll be times where he won't even be part of the squad, and I just don't want it to become an issue. So yeah, Renato Viga is being favoured ahead of him. Not surprised. Renato Viga can play multiple positions, and he's the youngster. He's the one that Chelsea would want to develop and potentially, participate as much as he can in the team. And if not, he'll be sold as well. For money. Now let's see if there's any other latest news that has dropped in since we started recording this, because things like news is dropping left, right, and center. There you go. Chelsea will play Servette FC for a place in the Conference League first leg at Stamford Bridge next Thursday. So Braga has beaten Servette, which is a Swedish team. And that seems to be the latest. We'll talk a little bit more about Conference League down the track, because obviously the match is not that, not that far away from us. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Romelu Lukaku, Osimhen, João Félix, Conor Gallagher, Leslie Ugochukwu, Angelo Gabriel, so many other players that we've touched base on. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Bye.